Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a 5'9" guard from the South Florida Bulls that is now heading to South Beach, Miami, playing for the Hurricanes next year. Led USF to a whole lot of accolades, whole lot of championships this past season. I'm talking about Vittoria Blasigh. How's it going?
Hi everyone. I'm going good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Excited to have you on. You've had a great career just in 2 years at the college level, already racking up the awards for your resume to eventually go pro later on in your career. And I tell you what, scouts definitely have taken notice of what you've done. And I want fans and viewers to be able to get to know a little bit more about it in a segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock back to 2024, where you got your first award of your career. American Conference Freshman of the Year in 2024. And after that, you just kept the ball rolling. Ended up this past season making the 2025 American Conference All Tournament team for your performance with the Bulls, leading them to a conference tournament championship in the American Conference, one of the best mid-major conferences in the country. And of course, when you win the tournament, you make it to March Madness. So you got to lead your team to the 2025 NCAA National Tournament. So absolutely incredible what you've been able to do. And obviously, stepping into this past season after winning Freshman of the year before, averaging around 13 points per game, I believe it was. Your teammates, the coaching staff, they knew what you were capable of doing. They knew what you were able to do on the floor for them. What would you say your mentality was entering this past season and the expectations that your coaches and teammates kind of had of you to produce on the floor?
I mean, my expectation definitely changed because after my first year, I would say like they started looking at me like somebody like can lead the team, which to me was just something like a motivation to motivate me more in the core. And that's where like I get this mentality every day to like improve and make me better every day. And that's why like my teammates expect me to like lead more, like bring energy, like positive, and it wasn't like, especially this year, it wasn't only like scoring, but it was more like the little things because like this year was a very like special team.
Mhm. Yeah, you guys definitely had a great group overall. I believe one of your teammates actually is going to training camp with the Chicago Sky
Yeah, Sammy.
WNBA. Yes, she was a phenomenal player just like yourself. And the culture for USF is built on this success, the winning culture that you guys have. I believe I saw a stat somewhere that USF has made it to 10 national tournaments in the last, I believe, 15, 16 years, something somewhere around there. So the coaching staff has done a great job at producing talents like yourself. Uh, Talk to me about this culture overall and what it's really done for yourself and your teammates around you to where it's able to help you guys grow and make it to all of these NCAA tournaments.
Yeah. Also, I mean, USF is like a very special place. Like every time that somebody come here, I love it. Like, especially like Coach Fernandez, like as everybody knows, like he's been here 20 past years, and he's a coach that is very competitive. He makes you better, and he very trusts you. He's pushing you every day. Like he believed in me every day. And I mean, say goodbye to him, it was very hard. So like this culture, it's amazing, and the system is very like competitive and it's very European. Like we have a lot of European girls, and that I feel like that helped me a lot because I came from Europe. So that was like a very good thing for me.
Yeah, and obviously helped you out a lot going into your freshman year a year ago. And going into this past season, not only did you return, but as well as four of the top five scores, include with you being the fifth one, returning for this past season. You guys had a lot of familiarity with each other. You guys had that chemistry already built up from a year ago. How would you say having so many returners in this system, in this program, helped lead you guys to the March Madness tournament once again?
Yeah, I would say that like have a lot of return and made like a huge difference because we already know like the chemistry and like we trust each other, and was also very competitive because like we already know like what was the strength of the person, so like we made it more competitive, and that's why we get better. And also I would say like this team was very special inside of the core and even outside. um I feel like every day of every game, like there wasn't only one person. Like every game was like a different person that was like on fire, and we were just going like, oh, like today is Vicky game, today is Sammy day, today is Mama Carla. So that was like something that made me very special.
Yeah, you guys,
Yeah,
I believe it was 5 or 6 players that were averaging 9 or more points because it
yeah,
was so well distributed. You guys'
yeah,
defense was one of the top in the conferences, to where, and the field goal percentage, I believe, was up there as well, to where you guys were
yeah.
taking effective shots, making those shots, and you definitely were one of those taking the big time moment shots. Because I tell you what, I looked through Synergy and looked at the highlights, the big time plays that you had for this segment we're about to get into that I like to call Make That Play. And you had some big time buckets that you got. And I want to talk about what I thought were the top three that you had this past season. But obviously, I'm just a spectator. I'm just the guy doing the notes for the interview. You're the one actually on the court doing these things. What would you say was your top play from this past season?
I would say the game winner against Carolina, East Carolina. Then I would say in the semifinal when I made the three against North Texas. Um, yeah, I would say like these two, and maybe like a good drive against Duke.
hmm Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I agree with you on the game winner for sure. Because going against East Carolina, time is winding down. They need a bucket for you guys to win this game, and they sent it right to you. You just went right down the baseline. Nobody could stay in front of you, and you ended up going right in. Help defense came in. You said, "Nah, I'm still scoring." Went up and under. Nice little layup for South Florida to win over the Pirates. And number two, going against not just the Duke Blue Devils, but a top 10 Blue Devil team, number 9 nationally ranked at the time. And it was just funny because you went in, the one girl ended up shoving you. Don't know how a foul wasn't called, but thankfully it wasn't because you ended up ricocheting off another Duke player, still got the jumper up and still managed to cash it in off balance. And then number three, you mentioned that semifinal game. I got to talk about the championship game against Rice, where you hit a step back, long range, Steph Curry, Caitlin Clark type of three-pointer from the
yeah,
top of the arc to take the lead and never look back en route to a championship win for the Bulls. So those are my top three plays. And I mean, you guys had so much success this year, 23-11 overall record, 13-4 in American Conference action, where you guys were able to do a lot as a whole. And you yourself, you kind of took on this role of doing whatever it took to help your team win, even though your points per game decreased. I believe the assists grew, though turnovers decreased. There were some numbers that increased, decrease across the board for you, but you kind of took on that role of, okay, whatever I need to do, this is what I'm going to do. So, how would you say after a dominant freshman season where you were one of the go-to players to score, you kind of took a step back scoring wise and found ways to distribute a little bit more?
yeah. I would say my role definitely changed in terms of like scoring. I would say because we had a completely different team. But like I wasn't like focused on just scoring. I was focused on what my teammates need. So like I improved my defense. I tried to make like the good extra, like take the good decision, like made a good extra pass, like just a good assist, like and just try to like make my teammate better and win. Uh, so that was my main focus.
Hey, you definitely, obviously 23 wins on the season. It that speaks to the winning mentality that you guys had. And you still put up some good numbers though. I do want to point that out. 10 and a half points per game, nearly 3 rebounds per game. You shot almost 37% from beyond the arc, 36.7% to be exact. With some big time games that championship game against Rice, especially 20 points and 6 rebounds in that game, had 24 points and 10 rebounds against Jacksonville. And then you guys played a lot of top 25 teams this season and going against number 25 Louisville, you had 19 points with 5 made threes. So you guys absolutely dominated throughout the year as a whole, even though you guys started off 5-6, had a losing record there at one point, but that was because of the competition you were facing. Played number two UConn. You played number three South Carolina. Both those teams were in the national championship game, as well as a couple of other top 25 opponents before going off and beating number nine Duke. How would you say that win over the Blue Devils really helped propel you guys the rest of the way throughout this season to give you the confidence to go off and win a conference tournament championship?
Yeah, I feel like we were so close even against like good teams. For example, like Mississippi State. I feel like, oh, Bendy, we should have won that game. But we weren't just too prepared, I would say, because we were like a lot of like new team. So I feel like that game helped us to like keep growing and like make our chemistry better. And when we went against Duke, like it was just amazing. Like everybody was playing like 100%, and it was just so fun to play. I love it. And then that was a good confidence for us because then we went to uh, the conference and we just played so good, except like the losses that we had before the conference tournament.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
which actually leads me right into my next question there. You talked about the pair of losses right at the end of the regular season before going into that conference tournament where you guys were still one of the favorites and obviously ended up winning that whole thing. You guys have always managed to find ways to bounce back after a loss. You guys never really put multiple losses together throughout the season. I believe that was only the second time the whole year where you guys had back-to-back losses. What really clicked after that where you guys said, okay, you know what? Yeah, we may have just ended the regular season the way we did not want to, but let's go off and win this whole tournament.
Yeah, those two losses actually hurt us for sure. But we said in the locker room, we said that happened in the past. Let's just move on and think about what is coming next. And then we were all together, like we stayed together the whole time. I feel like the all three games that we play at the tournament, we played just like for each other. And everybody did the little things. And when we had like something not going good, we would just stay together and help each other. So that's what made like very good, and that's why we won.
Yeah, ended up beating Tulane 69 to 59, then beat North Texas in the semifinals 58 to 48, and then took down Rice in that championship matchup 69-62 before going on playing Tennessee in the round of 64 of that March Madness tournament. So you guys were always able to compete, always able to find ways to stay on top. And at the end of the season, there a lot of people ended up leaving. We talked about your teammate that's going to the WNBA, you yourself entered the transfer portal and are now heading to South Beach, to Miami to play for the Hurricanes next season. What was it about Miami specifically that stood out to you to where you wanted to go join the Hurricanes? Because obviously, someone with your talent, you have a lot of schools that are contacting you to be a part of their programs. What made the Hurricanes so special to you?
Choosing Miami was one of the hardest decisions ever, especially after I experienced USF. I guess I was just so special to me, and like I was very close to all the coaching stuff. But I felt like was the right moment to like leave and get to experience something else to like a better level. And when I entered to the transfer portal, I got some good offers, but Miami just gave me that confidence, especially with the coaching stuff. They were so like, I felt like so special with them, and they were like, they gave me this confidence that I was like, okay, like this is my team where I can actually get better and play at the upper level. So that was it. Yeah.
Hey, Miami is known for having some great talents in their program. Obviously, you are going to be one of them next season. And they're bringing in a couple of other transfers, as you know, including yourself, obviously, to kind of revamp a program that they lost quite a few seniors, I believe, quite a few to the transfer portal with the way college sports are today. Everyone's entering the portal.
Yeah.
But obviously, you yourself, you got to grow your name at USF to where people may not have known you at first, but now they definitely recognize your name when they see you on the scoreboard, see you on the stat sheet. And I have this segment coming up especially to try to get players that may not have their names out there a whole lot yet, that where you can recommend them in a segment that I like to call Who's Up Next, where you can give me some names that I can reach out to, have on the podcast, get their names out there a little bit more, just like I want to do for yourself and hopefully more of your teammates. You can recommend multiple USF players that you played with, maybe some of your future teammates, but there are two rules. First of which, whoever you recommend got to help me get them on, got to help me reach out. And number two, I do need at least one name where they were not a teammate of yours this past season.
Okay, I would say one of my teammates, I would say Carla Brito, because she's somebody that actually like it's so positive and pushed me through all year. Somebody that I didn't play with. Um, can be somebody that I play against it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh, I would say um Uh, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's always the one that stumps people for sure.
Yeah. Uh,
It could be one of your future teammates from Miami if that helps.
okay, I'll say Gal Raviv, the girl from Israel.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Miami, they if I know the Hurricanes coaching staff, they're going to put together a great team and obviously yourself, her, I'm actually going to be interviewing one of your future teammates, Maya Cohn here shortly.
Mhm.
So definitely going to be watching Hurricane games throughout the year next season. I got to get some gear to obviously support. And that's a great segment of who's up next. Now we got to talk about what's next for yourself. Obviously, getting ready to go play at the Power Five level, play in the ACC for Miami. How are you really looking to improve your game this off season to enter next year the best version of yourself to compete in the Power Five level?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to like since the beginning. I wanted to get better every day and improve. I feel like the ACC is a tough league and a good conference where like I can actually improve. I feel like I wanna make myself every day better. I really trust the coach and Coach Fritz. I feel like he's very good. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that trusts me every day, that push me every day and make me better.
Hey,
Yeah.
definitely can't wait to see what you do in the ACC next year for sure. I'm sure Miami is going to have a whole lot of wins with you at the helm at that point guard position. And hopefully one day soon you'll be joining your teammate in the WNBA. So
Yeah,
thank you
hopefully.
so much for taking time out of your day to
Thank you.
be a part of this interview with me. Obviously, you got a bright future ahead of you, and it's awesome to have players like yourself on this interview to help grow the podcast.
Thank you.